What's up? This is DAnthoney. I'm here to recap the Matrix trilogy. The Matrix, 1999, the most influential action movie in history. It starts off at an abandoned hotel within a major city. A police squad corners Trinity, who overpowers them and her superhuman abilities. She flees pursued by the police and a group of suited agents capable of similar superhuman feats. She answers in a ringing public telephone and vanishes just before an agent crashes a truck into the booth. Computer programmer Thomas Anderson, known as the hacking alias Neo, is puzzled phrase, the Matrix. He contacts him and tells him a man named Morpheus has the answers he seeks. A team of agents and police, led by Agent Smith, arrives at Neo's workplace and search for him. Though Morpheus attempts to guide Neo to safety via a phone call, Neo chooses to capture rather than risk escaping through the window on the ledge of a skyscraper. The agents then attempt to consecrate Neo into helping them locate Morpheus, whom they claim is a terrorist. Neo insists on his right to a phone call so that he can contact a lawyer, but the agents cause his mouth to fuse shut and implant a robotic bug inside of him. Neo wakes up and believes it's a nightmare and is taken by Trinity to meet Morpheus shortly afterwards. Along the way, they remove a bug from Neo's stomach, proving that the nightmare he experienced was real. Morpheus offers Neo a choice between two pills, the red to reveal the truth of the Matrix and the blue to return him to his former life. Neo swallows the red pill. His reality disintegrates and he awakens new in a liquid-filled pause. Among countless other humans attached to the elaborate electrical system, he is retrieved and brought to the Morpheus flying ship, the Nebuchadnezzar. As Neo recuperates from his lifetime of physical inactivities in the pod, Morpheus explains their situation. In the early 21st century, a war broke out between humanity and intelligent machines. After humans blocked their machines' access to solar energy, the machines responded by capturing humans, harnessing the bioelectric power, while keeping their minds pacified in the Matrix, a shared stimulation reality modeled after the world as it was in 1999. The machines won the war. An underground city of Zion, the last refugees of human beings. Morpheus and his crew are a group of rebels who hack into the Matrix to unplug and enslave humans and recruit them. The understanding of the Matrix is the nature allows them to bend into physical laws. Morpheus warns Neo that the death within the Matrix kills the physical body, and the agents are a sentiment computer program that eliminate threats to the system. While machines called Sentinels eliminate rebels in the real world, Neo's prowess during the virtual training cements Morpheus' belief that Neo is the one, a human possessed to free humankind. The group enters the Matrix to visit the Oracle, the prophet that predicted the world who will emerge. She suggests that Neo is not the one and warns that he will have to choose between Morpheus' life and his own. Before they can leave the Matrix, agents and the police ambush the group tipped off by Cypher, a disgruntled crew member who was portrayed Morpheus in exchange for comfortable life in the Matrix. Mouse is killed by the police in the Matrix and dies in the real world, while Morpheus captured fighting Smith, buying time to rest or escape. Cypher exits the Matrix and murders several crew members at his defenses before he can kill Neo and Trinity. Tank, a crew member knocked unconscious, awakens to kill Cypher before Neo and Trinity from the Matrix. Agents interrogate Morpheus to attempt to learn the codes in the mainframe in Zion. Tank possesses to kill Morpheus to prevent this, but Neo resolves to return Matrix to rescue, as the Horus prophesies. Trinity insists that he's accompanying. While rescuing Morpheus, Neo gains confidence in his abilities, performing feats comparable to the agents. Morpheus and Trinity exit the Matrix, but the Smith ambushes and kills Neo before he can flee. As a group of the Sentinels attack the Nebuchadnezzar, Trinity confesses her love for Neo and reveals that the Oracle told her to fall in love with the One. He awakens in newfound abilities to perceive and control the Matrix. He defeats the Smith and other agents and leaves the Matrix as the ship's electromagnetic pulse disables the Sentinels. Back in the Matrix, Neo makes a telephone call promising his machines that to show their prisoners a world where anything is possible. He hangs up the call and flies away. 2003, Matrix Reloaded. 6 months after the events of the Matrix, Neo and Trilogy are romantically involved. Morpheus receives a message from Captain Naomi of Lagos calling an emergency meeting of all ships for Zion. Zion has confirmed the last transmission of the Oasis, an army of Sentinels that tunnel Zion and will reach it within 27 hours and 72 hours. Commander Locke orders all the ships to return to Zion, prepare on the onslaught. But Morpheus asks one ship to remain in contact with the Oracle, as Caduceus receives a message from the Oracle. One of the Caduceus crew, Bane, encounters Smith, who reveals that previous encounter with Neo severed his connection with Matrix and made him a rogue program. Smith then takes over the main body and uses the phone to leave the Matrix into the real world. In Zion, Moore has announced the news of the advancing machines to the people. The Nebuchadnezzar leaves Zion and enters the Matrix, where Neo meets the Oracle bodyguard Seraph, who leads him to her. After realizing the Oracle is part of the Matrix, Neo asks he can trust her. She relies in this to his decision. The Oracle instructs Neo to reach the source of the Matrix with the help of the Keymaker. As the Oracle departs, Smith appears, telling Neo that after being defeated, he refused to be deleted. Now he's a rogue program. He demonstrates his ability to clone himself with other inhabitants of the Matrix, including other agents as hosts. He tries to observe Neo but fails, prompting a battle between Smith's clones and Neo. Neo manages to defend himself, but is forced to retreat from the increases overwhelming numbers. Neo, Morpheus, and Trinity visit the Merovingian, who is imprisoning the Keymaker. The Merovingian, a rogue program with his own agent, refuses to let him go. His wife, Persephone, seeking revenge for her husband and infidelity, leads to the trio to the Keymaker. Morpheus, Trinity, and the Keymaker flee Neo and holds up the Merovingian henchmen. Morpheus and Trinity try to escape the Keymaker and pursued by agents and the Merovingian chief henchmen, the twins. After a long chase, Trinity escapes. Morpheus defeats the twins. Neo saves Morpheus and the Keymaker from the Agent Johnson. The crews of the Nebuchadnezzar, Vigilant, and Logos, and the Keymaker and Neo reach the source. The Logos must destroy a power plant, and Vigilant crew to disable a backup power station to prevent the security system that has been triggered, allowing Neo to open the door. Haunted by a vision of Trinity's death, Neo asks her to remain on Nebuchadnezzar. The Locust succeeds, while the Vigilant is destroyed by the Sentinel with every aborting parachute. Trinity replaces the Vigilant crew and completes their mission. However, Agent Thompson corners her and they fly. As Neo, Morpheus, and Keymaker try to reach the source, the Smiths ambush them. The Keymaker unlocks the door to the source, but Smith shoots him dead as they closes the door. Neo meets a program called the Architect, the creator of the Matrix, who explained he is the one. Neo himself is an intentional part of the design of the Matrix, which is now the 6th iteration. Neo meant to stop the Matrix fatal system crashing naturally recurs during the concept of human choice within it. As the 5 previous ones, Neo has a choice: either return to the source to reboot the Matrix, or pick the survivors to repopulate the Matrix, and pick the survivors to repopulate the soon-to-destroy design as the predecessors did, or refuse, causing the Matrix to crash to kill everyone connected to it, which, combined with the pending destruction of Zion, would mean humanity's extinction. Neo learns of Trinity's situation and chooses her to save it. Instead of the return to the source, to the Architect responds dismissively. Trinity is shot, and she and Agent Thompson fall off the building. Before she hits the ground, Neo flies down and catches her. He removes the bullet from her chest. As he starts to flatline, Neo reaches into her, revives her. Then, the real world where Sentinels attack them. The Nebuchadnezzar is destroyed, but the crew escape. Neo displays a new ability to disable the real world machines with his thoughts. but he falls into a coma. The crew are picked up by another ship, the Hammer. It's called Roland, reveals the other ships in defense of Zion, who was wiped out by the other machines. After someone prematurely activate the EMP, that is the only survivor, was found. The Smith possessed Bane. 2003, Matrix Revolution. Neo and Bane lie unconscious in the medical bay of the Hammer. Inside the Matrix, Neo is trapped in the subway station named Mobile Avenue. A transition zone between the Matrix and the real world. He meets a family of programs, including a girl named Sadie. The father tells that the subway is controlled by the train man, a program loyal to the Maravidian. While Neo tries to board the train with his family, the train man refuses and overpowers him. Seraph contacts Morpheus and Train on behalf of the Oracle, who informs them of Neo's confinements. Seraph, Morpheus, and Trinity enter the club, where they confront Maravidian, who force him to release Neo. Troubled by the visions of Machine City, Neo visits the Oracle, who reveals that Smith intends to destroy both the Matrix and the real world. She tells him that everything has a beginning and it has an end. After Neo leaves, a large group of Smith assimilates Asadi and Seraph. The Oracle does not resist assimilation, and Smith gains his powers of precognition. In the real world, the crews of Nebuchadnezzar and Hammer find the reactivated Naomi's ship, the Lobos. They interrogate Bane, who has no recollection of the early massacre, as their captains plan the defense of Zion. Neo requests a ship to travel to the Machine City, motivated by her encounter with the Oracle. Naomi offers the Lobos. Neo departs accompanied by Trilogy. Bane has slowed away on the Lobos, takes Trinity hostage. Neo realizes that Bane has assimilated by Smith, and the fight ensues. Bane burns Neo's eyes with a power cable, blinding him. Neo discovers that he can still see the Matrix code in the real world. His ability to see and kill Bane. Trinity pilots them to the Machine's City. Naomi and Morpheus rush to Zion and the Hammer to aid the human defenses. Zion's shipyard is overwhelmed by a horde of sentinels, and fatally wounded Captain Milfane instructions the kid to open the gate for the Hammer. When it arrives, it discharges the EMP. The Saber Essentials presents also Zion remaining defenses. The humans are forced to retreat and wait for the attack, thinking at the last stand. The Lobos are attacked when a wave of the Machine's City. They avoid onslaught. They fly in the open sky, crash into the building, fatally wounding Trinity. Neo enters the Machine City and encounters the leadership of machines from the form of the Deus Ex Machina. Neo's Ex Machina. Neo warns the Smith and plans to conquer both the Matrix and the real world and stop Smith in exchange for the peace of Zion. The Deus Ex Machina agrees, and the Sentinels shut down, stopping attack on Zion. The machines plug Neo into Matrix, whose population is now entirely assimilated by the Smith. The Smith now Oracle steps forth and telling Neo that he's foreseeing his victory against Neo after a protracted fight. Neo appears to concede and defeat himself and assimilated. Outside the Matrix, machines send a surgery engine to Neo's body, which inside the Matrix, the Neo Smith clone. Then all the Smith's clones to be destroyed, leaving the Oracle lying there. The Sentinels withdrew from Giant. Morpheus and Naomi embrace. Neo's life's body is carried away by the machines. The Matrix is rebooted, and the architect meets the Oracle in a park. They agree that the peace will last as long as it can, and that the humans will desire it will offer the opportunity to lead the Matrix. The Oracle will tell Sadie, who created a beautiful sunset for Neo, and she thinks that she'll see Neo again. Seraph asked the Oracle if she knew that it would happen. She realized, and she said it did not know, but she believed. I love the Matrix movies. It had a good groundwork first movie, then a tense action-packed second, and then the third would concluded everything for now. This movie felt like real, very real, metaphorical, and physiological in its ideas, and makes it similar to Zion, regular Earth, and they stuff will be like in a dream world, which I think was really cool. I give the first 10, third 8 out of 10. Since the second and third movie split, and I will be reviewing Matrix Resurrections when they come out. Thank you.